Hello, and in this section we are going to learn what are the 3D games object, what is Gizmos, what are the hand tools, how to scale a 3D object, local coordinate system versus global coordinate systems, building a wall using cubes, and the use of snap tools. So let's get started now. So in this section, I'm going to work with the previous example here. And in our last session, we have understood how to place different screen elements, how to place different windows, and how to adjust their positions. Now, uh, first of all, we will see how to insert a 3D game object in our scene. Now to insert a 3D game object, there are many ways to insert it. One way is you can come to the hierarchy view. This is the hierarchy view. Right click in the empty space area, right click here and go for 3D objects and click on the cube. So this is going to insert a cube for you. This is one way. Another way, you can go to the menu, game object menu, and then look for 3D objects and click on the insert cube, and this is going to insert the same cube again. And mind it, all these cubes will be placed at the same place. We need to adjust them. We need to move them into different positions over here. Now, if I select this cube, if I select this first cube here, you will see in the inspector window, all its properties will get displayed over here. If I select the second cube, now the second cube properties will become visible to us and we can make changes, whatever the changes we are looking for. We will look into these different properties as well with the passage of time. Now, if you want to work with the scene view and you want to get a bigger picture of the scene view, then you can keep the shift key pressed and use the space bar key. Keep the shift key pressed and click the space bar. This is going to increase the view of your scene view. Similarly, if you want to minimize this view, again back to its normal position, so then you can use this shift and space bar again. So this is going to reposition your window. So remember, shift space is used to maximize the scene view, and use the same key, these combinational keys shift and space, to bring back to minimum view, or to bring the window into the minimum scale. Now next is you need to activate these gizmos. You can see here the gizmos option. Gizmos are basically the handles. Using these gizmos you can change the positions of X, Y and Z locations over here. Okay, by the way, one more thing over here, you might have observed also, when you click on this gizmo, okay, it's a toggle button. It is gonna enable and disable the handles to change the position, the scale, the rotation on x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So if I click on this gizmos over here, you will see the direction light and the camera both will become visible. When the gizmos are disabled, you may not see the direction light and the main camera within the view over here. So make sure that there's the gizmo button is activated so that you can see the direction light and the camera over here. Now one more thing, in order to rotate in this scene view, you can keep the alt key pressed. You will see if you see the hand tool will turn into an eye tool if you closely observe the screen in the scene view. So if I keep the alt key pressed here, see my hand tool is turned into an eye tool. So now if I use my mouse and I can rotate it now, see, I can rotate it into any direction. So you can see this, it is being rotated into different directions over here. So you can remove the alt key in order to come back to the normal view and to use the hand tools. As you have understood that how to insert these games objects, So if you want to create the similar kind of game objects, then the shortcut key is Control D on Windows, Control D to duplicate this element, and the same Command D on the Mac. So I'm pressing Control D, and you will see once I selected this cube, make sure the cube is selected in the hierarchical window. Now in the hierarchy window, the cube is selected. Once you press Control D, it is going to create a new you can say a duplicate of this cube, which is over here. Now I want to move this cube. Now to move this cubes, first of all we need to activate the movement tool over here. So now see, we have these three different colors. If you see, red represents the x-axis, y represents the y-axis, and blue represents the z-axis. Now if I want to move it to horizontally, I can use this x-axis. So see, my object is moving. I can give movement back and forth, and try to observe over here. Whenever I'm moving this cube, you will observe some changes will be reflected in the x positions of transform section. Now if I move this x-axis, you will see the values are being changed in the transform positions over here. Similarly, if I move it upwards, you will also observe changes in the y position. As you can see in the inspector window, changes are being applied over here. So this view is not appropriate. So what we can do, I'm going to use this Alt key view, and I'm going to reposition my view so that I can see these cubes properly. So what I can do, I can move it up on the y-axis. This is z-axis. Z-axis will go far from this screen, and we can change this back to, so we can adjust the positions of these different elements, the game object actually. One more thing over here, if you wanted to focus on a particular game object, then you can select this game object, make sure the object is selected, and then press the F key from the keyboard. So once you press the F key from the keyboard, it is going to focus on this particular game object. It is going to zoom in. Look at this, it is zoom in. So you can use again the mouse wheel button to zoom out. So I'm using the mouse wheel button to zoom out. So you can use the Alt key again to adjust your scene view. You might have noticed here that in the actual game window, I cannot see these objects actually. The reason is the camera is not placed into a proper position. So if I adjust the camera position, so let me adjust the camera position to see these game objects. Look at this, I just moved the camera. So you can try. Initially it is going to be try and error case. So as you are learning along, so you can try these different positions of the camera and see what view works the best in your case. So now you can see in the games window, you can see these different objects. So remember, so far we discussed about the Alt key, which is used to move the scenes into any direction, and we discuss the Control key, Control D, to duplicate these game objects, and we discuss about the F key. The F key is used for focusing on a particular game object. So select the game object and press the F key to focus on that particular game object. Now second is we need to remember one thing, that these, whenever you move these game objects, they are going to move in 1 meter distance at a time. So the you can say unity distance, each time you move an object, it is going to be 1 meter. So let me show you how it is going to work. Let me delete all these 3 cubes from here, and I'm going to insert the cubes to build a wall. So you can select the first cube and press the delete key from the keyboard, or you can put a bounding box on it using the mouse and select both the objects, and you can press the delete key from the keyboard. So I'm going to delete them one by one. So these cubes are deleted from the scene. I'm going to reinsert the cubes again, and this time I'm going to build a wall. Right click in the hierarchy view and then go to the 3D objects and insert a cube. See, this cube is inserted over here, as you can see. Now I want to duplicate this cube, so we will be pressing Ctrl D to duplicate this cube. See, the cube is duplicated. Now I want to move it in order to build a wall. So use this Z axis and move. So that will be the location. So there's whenever you are going to place these objects, just make sure that there is no gap in between. So let me just zoom in to show you. See, there is no gap in between. So if I click outside, so it looks like a single object over here. So let me press Ctrl D again to duplicate the cube third time. Now move this cube so that it should look like a wall over here in the space. So I'm going to repeat for a few times to duplicate my objects and to make a wall. This is how we are going to duplicate these objects. I'm going to make a wall, Ctrl D. Let me just zoom out. Let me adjust the view for my understanding. Look at this. This is the view. By the way, if you want to see the same view the way I'm getting this view, it means you want to adjust the camera. So select this camera, right click on this camera and click align with view. So it is going to adjust this according to the view. So if I zoom out, you can see this camera. Let me just zoom down, sorry, move down, and let me just move this camera close to the wall, as you can see here. Close to the wall. Let me just increase the height. Let's place a little bit backward. So this works fine now. So let me adjust my view, the scene view. Let me zoom in. So let's complete our wall. So Ctrl D to duplicate this game object and move this one up. Ctrl D again. By the way, you can select number of game objects and then you can duplicate as well. So I'm going to select these two, keep the shift key pressed. Now these two game objects are selected. Press Ctrl D. So it is going to duplicate 2 objects at a time now. Look at this. So you can speed up this process as well. So let me bring one more cube game object and to complete our wall over here. So we build this wall. Let's understand further if we want to place an object over the edge of a cube actually. So I'm going to duplicate this game object, Ctrl D to duplicate this cube. Now move up adjust its position. Now zoom in, press F key to zoom in. Let me show you, let me give you one more trick over here. Now press the V key. Keep the V key pressed. Look at this. It is going to show me different positions. These are the vertices actually, where we can snap our game object. So let's suppose if I want to place this game object, this cube, over the edge of this wall, how can we do this? Let me zoom out, and I'm going to change my view as well using the Alt key. Change this view, and now keep the V key pressed. This is the vertex which I want to move. Look at this, it will automatically snap this object. This is called snapping as well. So you can snap it to the vertex over here. See, it is placed, if I zoom in, it is placed over the edge of this vertex actually. Similarly, what we can do, I'm going to duplicate this game object, Control D, move up, right, and Control D, move towards the x-axis. Now if I want to make it again an edge, if I want to move it to an edge actually, keep the V key pressed. This is the vertex which I want to place it over here. Look at this. You can zoom in, adjust your camera now. If I move up, little bit backward, move right side. Look at this. This is how it is going to show me the output over here. So using the V key, which will highlight the vertices, you can snap different objects. You can snap different objects within your scene view. Please go ahead and learn all these concepts, whatever you have learned so far. Apply these concepts, play with them, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.